Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we have a very important topic to discuss regarding 2.15 and PvP, but before we dive fully into that, I want to make a little bet with everybody here. Without cutting the video, I'm going to fast travel over to the DZ, and I am going to guarantee you that either the first person I come across or the first group of people, somebody in there, is going to be running the following build: the Heartbreaker Gear Set, the ACS-12 shotgun with a linked laser pointer. Guarantee. Guarantee. And I just want to see. I won't make assumptions. But I'll bet you $5 that somebody is going to have that build on. Did I just hear somebody out here? Alright, let's take a look. Alright, well I did die, fair enough, and that guy didn't have it. But, next person, right when I come out the door right here. Heartbreaker Gear Set, ACS-12, link laser pointer. Fine, if you want to take my $5, that's okay. Technically, I lost the bet. But my point is, this is the build that a lot of people are running in the DZ right now as of a result of adding Heartbreaker in with TU15. And I think it is very problematic for the state of PvP, for the balance of the Dark Zone, for the balance of PvP in general. Not to say that the experience is, very balanced in general, but this is clearly an outlier. And let's just hear. You know what? This is the guy that's running it. Let's just take a look at how it performs. He's going to build his stacks up with the ACS to get a bunch of bonus armor. And then by the time I try to shoot him, he's going to be incredibly tanky. And he's going to have a ton of damage. Look at that, he's getting all that bonus armor while I'm shooting, and he switches to his other gun and takes me down. Now sure, somebody shot me in the back, but I think you get the idea of what kind of build and environment this creates in the DZ, and I don't think it's very good. Now look, you can flame me all you want for making this proposition, but I think that Heartbreaker needs some balancing adjustments. To be quite honest with you, I don't really care what they want to do with it in PvE. Do I personally think it's overtuned and kind of invalidates a lot of other builds? Yes. If it were up to me, would I nerf it? Yes, but it's not up to me. And, like I said, in PvE, I have much less of an issue with that stuff. I'm much more open to the idea of nerfs than I think a lot of people in this community are, and that's okay. I fully accept that. In PvP, however, I think it is well within my jurisdiction to make the assessment that Heartbreaker is far overpowered for its current implementation. It needs tuning. Now, I don't actually think that the set itself needs its numbers turned down. Okay, I don't think it needs a power decrease. What I think it does need is a functionality change to reflect the type of bonuses that you get from this set. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you think about this compared to Striker, right? With this, you're getting damage and you're getting bonus armor. With Striker, all you're getting is damage. Now, with Striker, you can hit anywhere on the body, doesn't require a pulse, and in that sense, there's a lower, ceiling there, hence less of a bonus than you get from Heartbreaker. The problem with Heartbreaker right now is you can basically negate everything that was supposed to make it somewhat more challenging, which is why you get a greater bonus, and that's what people are exploiting right now to get such powerful builds. Like, look, I'll go at this guy again. He's got already 5 or 6 reds on his build. I see very little chance I'm going to be able to get him here. I have my regular Unbreakable Adrenaline Rush build with a Catharsis, and it's just not going to go well. He's already got all that bonus armor. Again, this set is supposed to be focused around ARs and LMGs, and he shot me that whole time with his ACS. Now he switches to his gun, now that he's got all the stacks, and he gets tons of damage. And there we go. Didn't stand much of a chance, did I? Again, that build, they build up stacks with this. They use the link laser pointer, which I think is incredibly problematic, but that's a topic for another day, and then they switch to the actual gun that's meant to deal damage with the set in the first place. So again, I'll say it one more time. I'm not of the opinion that they need to turn down the actual bonuses that you get from Heartbreaker. It feels very powerful and rewarding when you build up all of your stacks, and it should, but there should be an actual difficulty to building up those stacks, as was probably intended with the set. Otherwise, what's the point of Striker? What's the point of a lot of other builds in the game when you can just get your stacks that easy? So I have 2 potential solutions that I would like to suggest they implement. Again, if they just want to do this for PvP, that's fine. Maybe this carries over to PvE as well, and that kind of solves some of the issues there. But again, not my area. I don't really care what they do there, and people can get mad at me all they want for suggesting a nerf. But I don't really view it as a nerf. I view it as a balancing change to properly make the bonuses you get from the set worth it. Again, I don't suggest lowering the actual power from the set at all. Let's take a look at the 4-piece here and why this gets problematic. Headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds. Weapon hits on pulsed enemies add a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1% damage to pulsed enemies up to a max stack of 50 stacks. 2 stacks are lost each second. Now in theory, that's fine. You have to hit a headshot to apply the pulse, and then you do all that. The problem is, there are many more ways to get a pulse on somebody than just using the 4-piece of this and hitting a headshot. Namely, as we just saw, the linked laser pointer, you can use the Night Watcher, and a scanner pulse. You can do a variety of things. And the problem there is, when you pulse them, then you're just hitting them and getting that insane amount of damage and bonus armor and all of that stuff basically for free. As you saw, someone can use it with a shotgun, which again, this set is supposed to be focused around ARs and LMGs. So I have two potential solutions. The first one is my lesser favorite of the two, but it would be restrict this set to only work with ARs and LMGs. If you're using a shotgun, an SMG, a rifle, whatever, you cannot build stacks up from the 4-piece. I'm less of a fan of this one because I think similarly to Hunter's Fury, it's kind of cool to have the option to use it with other stuff if you want to try that out and be creative. I made a Hunter's Fury AR build once, and it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was pretty fun, and I don't like restricting stuff to that degree. But I do think that if that was an option that they wanted to consider, that would absolutely fix the issue we're seeing in the DZ and PvP right now, because people are building up their stacks specifically with the ACS and with shotguns in general, and then just switching to their AR. Doing it that way would mean that people would actually have to use the guns that were intended for this build to then get the stacks up. That would severely restrict how quickly people are able to, build up their stacks for the 4-piece, and it would give their opponents much more of a chance to actually take them down, whereas now you're kind of invincible if you run 6 blues. That's the first option that I'm less of a fan of, but I think would absolutely work to solve the issue. The other one, I think some people are going to get mad at me, I know. I think this would be much more healthy for the set overall. Restrict the 4-piece to only building stacks on pulsed enemies when you hit a headshot. I think that the whole point of this set should be, compared to Striker specifically, Striker, you don't have to pulse them, you can hit anywhere on the body and you build a stack. On this, if they're pulsed and you hit a headshot, you're then building those damage stacks and you're building bonus armor. It's a stronger version of Striker, and because of that, it should take more to do and more to gain that power than what Striker does. And currently that's just not the case. So I think making this say specifically headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds, it should say headshot hits on pulsed enemies, add a stack of blah, 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 blah. 2 stacks are lost each second. This way, if people want to run their shotguns, if they run around whatever they can, but you then have to hit headshots, which is much harder to do than just pulsing someone with whatever, the linked laser pointer or anything else, and then just melting them in the body, then switching to their AR, and then getting the damage. I think this would be much more healthy for the game overall. Again, whether they just want to apply that to PvP or the larger PvE game in general, I don't care, but specifically in the Dark Zone, this needs some tuning, and I think this would get the job done. So again, if you're going to hate on me for that, so be it. Again, I think nerfs are kind of inevitable in a game like this, in a looter shooter. It's just kind of the cycle of how things go in this genre. And so if you're not accustomed to it by this point, then I'm not sure what to tell you. But I do think, specifically for the health of PvP, these changes to the new Heartbreaker Gear Set are needed without changing the power of the set at all. I will remind you one more time, just changing its functionality to reflect just how powerful the bonuses are that you get from using this gear set. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about this discussion regarding the Heartbreaker Gear Set, both in PvP, as I think is the focus of this discussion, but in the larger game overall. Do you see it as a problem for the, meta PvE game, for lack of a better word? I know a lot of you are going to be very upset by even the mention of this conversation, so I apologize in advance, but again, I think that's just kind of how it goes in these types of games, and so as not to invalidate all the gear that came before and all the builds that we already have, I think it would be in the devs' best interest to make sure that this new gear set, again, has the proper functionality to support how powerful its bonuses are. I don't think they should lower the bonuses themselves. I think it's a very strong and fun gear set, but its actual functionality should reflect that, and I think that's the core of the issue here. So let me know all of your thoughts on that, and that is about all I've got for this one, everybody. So yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold.